DNVR Buffs prime time on a Friday. You know the vibes. RK, Dre, and back on the show after receiving a master's degree from UC Twerkley yesterday. Alyssa on the ones and twos. And then, of course, Jake, a.k.a. Steve Twerkle, still out in Hawaii.
But I gotta say, his Twitter feed is
he's working
right now. He's spitting knowledge on there.
Well, dude,
so.
he's been out. He's been off the grind for.
He's missing it.
Damn near a month.
Yeah, he's missing it hard.
He's ready. He's ready to get back in the mix. Ready to get back in the trenches.
True. We're ready for him.
And we're ready for more transfers, baby. Let's go.
It never ends.
Let's go.
It never sleeps.
This one is interesting.
Yeah.
Because today, God, there are so many similar names. Jack Bailey.
Yup.
He of Kent State, of course, former school of Sean Lewis, announced that he is transferring to Colorado. And this is, first of all, awesome.
More talent.
I really appreciate having more guys in the room who have played for Sean Lewis.
Yeah.
And he looks big, but he weighs in at 280 or 290, I think, is the most recent update. And it's interesting to me because that feels like exactly what they want out of these offensive linemen. I think it's one of the reasons why you see Coach Lewis prioritize height so much, because he doesn't want them to carry a lot of weight. So you see what I'm saying? You get to still be big in terms of your reach and all of this,
but nimble and mobile,
light enough to get out there and run, like he wants them to do. So Jack Bailey enters the fold today and throws a real wrench in what we were starting to feel like an offensive line that was coming together. And Dre, this comes on the heels, not on the heels, but we haven't even seen a guy like Landon Beebe in the mix, Isaiah Jada in the mix.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that are now in the mix for a spot that only has 5 positions. I think we can pencil in or even Sharpie in Van Wells at center. I think you can
I think so, huh?
Actually, I was about to say you could Sharpie in Savion Washington. I don't even think you can do that. So I think you can Sharpie in Van Wells at center. I really do.
Where's Landon Beebe play?
He's a guard.
Yeah.
So now they're absolutely stacked at guard.
Friend of the show, Tyler Brown, put on notice. Jack Wilty, Iowa kid, who
was a transfer.
We saw playing at right guard with the ones when we were there. Big time put on notice. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like Van Wells might have been put on notice here too.
Why? Who's gonna move inside?
Could be TB. So intelligent.
He is, but he said like I've kind of started maybe working a little on what center would look like because he wants to be able to play everything. But
see,
so I read this differently than you. I don't necessarily think Tyler Brown was put on notice. I think that's still his spot. He's one of the few guys that has been in his spot the whole spring. Some other guys have been, experimented with, but like
it's familiarity with the offense, though.
It is, and that is a huge advantage that Jack Bailey's going to come in. He also has earned the trust of Sean Lewis, right? He started for him 2 years at left guard, and they're just like stacking up dudes because we haven't even talked about Yusuf Mugerbill, who transfers in from Florida. He's a guard.
You're doing a bit right now. Mover Bill, are you kidding me? Am I being punked right now?
No, that's a real person.
Stop it. Is this a Friday bit, Mover Bill? I don't believe you.
Mugerbill. Yusuf Mugerbill or Mugarbill.
This is transfer from Austria?
Transfer from Florida.
Whoa.
The Gators. And he was hyped up.
I'm sorry, the Gators?
Yes.
Go Gators?
Nope.
Okay. Coach O would be a great fit down in the swamp.
How's the comment section doing, Alyssa? Just so you guys know, our monitor isn't working right now.
And I can't see the comments, so it's going great.
Unsettling to not see ourselves.
Just know we love you, comment section, even if you're hating on us.
I'll fire it up, comment section.
Probably not hating on us, though.
No,
so anyways,
people.
Tank at left tackle feels likely to me, but I don't even think he's sharpied in. At this point, I'm sharpieing in Van Wells, and I'm penciling in Tyler Brown, and everything else to me. I would also pencil in Savion Washington.
Yeah, I tell you, watching this tape to prepare for this, I was more impressed by Jack Bailey's tape on a play-by-play basis than I was Savion Washington.
Interesting.
Guy's got good feet, moves really well on these pulls, coming from that left guard spot. Really nice blocker at the second level. And he's got a half-decent anchor, even at 280 pounds. He's got broad shoulders. He carries it well. Then, if you look at him, he's got this intimidating stash.
He does.
And he's a neck roll guy, man.
So he absolutely looks the part of a road grading mean streak guard. And that is something that people, coaches covet.
Yeah, he's got some real Willie Hernandez vibes to him.
And just looking at him and watching the little bit of tape that we got to watch between when we found out about this and when we came on this show, he has a little bit of fuck you in him. And that's worth something. It's certainly worth something. Mm-hmm. I just this has all of a sudden become a great problem to have. Yeah. But also what an intriguing battle there's going to be for 5 spots in the fall. And yeah, maybe some of these guys say, hey, I want in on this center comp because guard is so packed. Give me a shot.
Yeah, and I really could see Bailey starting on the left and Brown be moved to the right. Maybe there are fewer adjustments as a right guard in the Sean Lewis offense where you're not pulling as much, be moved as much, and you just can be a road grader. Tyler Brown was looking him up and watching a little stuff just to compare and contrast because I hadn't got into his Jackson State tape yet. It's listed as 300 plus. He has significantly bigger than Jack Bailey.
He has slimmed down a lot since getting to Colorado.
Yeah.
And really they call him rock. He's become more of a rock. He's built. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think he's still going to be the left guard.
Interesting. Their tackles are really, really tall and long.
Yes. Almost a little too tall on the left.
It's just easier to get under those pads. Mm-hmm. I remember that being a Nate Solder problem back in the day.
Yeah, and Tank still looks a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Just raw.
Yeah.
He looks raw out there. He's pretty nimble-footed for a guy who's listed, I think, at 6'10". But he needs to get stronger and tougher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Put a little more weight in the pants, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicholas Braxton with a great comment saying CU still needs another tackle, in my opinion. I think we kind of agree.
I mean, there's 1,000 guards and no tackles out here.
So many guards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, Jake Wiley, obviously. And
right, and Wiley actually starting over Savion, so you like that. I mean,
he was getting reps with the ones.
Yes,
and that's why I was saying, that's why I was saying, I for a long time I thought Savion Washington is probably the best lineman, but for whatever, and you never know what happened. Maybe he showed up late that day, and I'm not making any accusations, but who knows the reason why we saw a lot of Jake Wiley on that day. Maybe he was a little banged up, whatever.
I mean, Wiley was a coveted recruit when he was coming out.
He was.
So this, and he maybe has the perfect build, not too tall, not too stocky.
But that's the point of the spring. Test out what you got. You have leaders. It's like Thursday and Friday at the Masters. You're gonna get out. You're gonna get a lead, but then fall camp rolls around, and that's Saturday and Sunday at the Masters. That's when the real winners are gonna show out.
Yeah,
and these decisions are gonna be finalized. But this guard competition. Oh, Travis Gray also a tackle.
Okay.
This guard competition just got spicy.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of players in here. And now you add Landon Beebe to the mix.
And you can theorize and read between the lines and make guesses as to why why did they go get Jake Wiley today? Jake Bailey. Goodness gracious, that is tough. Jack Wilty, Jake Wiley, Jake Bailey. Are you kidding me?
And then you added Landon Beebe to the mix. That's what threw me off.
So why did they go get Jack Bailey?
Jack Bailey.
Good
You got
Lord.
it.
Why did they do that? Did Coach O'Boyle say, "Hey, I need someone I can trust more"? Did he reach out to Colorado and say, "Hey, I'm in the transfer portal. I'd love to come there because I love those coaches"? And they said, "All right, well, let's bring in the depth." What was the reasoning for this? We don't know. But
What led them to bringing the neck roll to Colorado, the neck roll and stash to Colorado?
and you can never have too much offensive line depth, other than
Preach.
probably running back, maybe even more than running back. It's a place where you are going to have dings all season long.
For sure, man. And I mean, the trick to not having issues on the O-line is depth and being able to develop the next guy coming through next year. That's how you build elite programs.
100%. 100%. All right. Anything else that you want? You watched a little of Jack. Anything else that you took away?
Right. Holy sh! Once we threw Jake in the mix, Jake Wiley threw me off more than Jack Wilty. Jack Bailey. No, I mean, as I said, those feet are impressive. He was asked to move a lot. That's that Sean Lewis offense. They're always moving guys. And he really can get on the second level and maul you. So you got some maulers on the inside. You got some stocky, like guys who are going to be hard to get off their spots. And then you got the length to hopefully keep those edge rushers at bay on a quick offense, And
By
interesting to watch.
Highly unofficial count. I believe they're now up to 96. 96 scholarship players.
Wow. I think I just counted 20 offensive linemen.
And I've never
with
been
Landon Beebe in the mix.
1, 2, 3,
And
4,
Isaiah
5,
Jada.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
But Jake, I do not see Jack Bailey on this list, so that's 20.
20.
Wow.
20 offensive linemen. Probably some of these guys are going to have to go somewhere.
I mean, it goes back to that right now speech.
We got it. Yeah,
we got it.
We got our comment section back. We missed you guys.
It goes back to that right now speech yesterday. I mean, like, guys are being put on notice, and even dudes who've come in since Coach Prime's been here, like, how is Jack Wilty feeling right now? Who himself transferred here.
I know.
Who's the Snow College kid you were telling me about? What was his name?
Jada.
Yeah, like, I don't know,
I think
man.
he might have been South.
It's going to be
so many guys.
Crazy competition.
Also,
crazy
shout out the homie Neely checking in on a Friday.
Hell yeah. Way to go. Let's go, Neely.
Again, just been pumping out
Happy Friday.
incredible
I know. I'm behind
content
on some videos. I gotta catch
on
up.
his channel, so make sure you go check it out. The Jimmy Horn one was fantastic. Okay.
Whew.
So there you go. The offensive line is packed, and probably there's still more to come because, like we mentioned, tackle, you could certainly stand to add a couple tackles, or at least one.
I mean, yeah, you can never not get better, It's and I do think Tank, Savion, you can add a little there. Incredible. And
So-
also, Coach Prime doesn't lie, and he said they've only gotten started on the transfer portal.
To our guy Neely, he said
Yeah.
that, and
So it's coming.
We we believe him, certainly believe him.
Yes, his
So-
track record makes it so that we must believe him. What up, Big
Man.
Teasy?
All this offensive line talk makes me want a Breck Brew. It's a Breck Brew Friday.
Wow, that's how you're wired, huh?
Yep.
I love that.
I mean,
Great
offensive
stuff.
line talk, you're thinking of like Bill O'Boyle and his big mustache. You're just like, yes, it's time for a beer.
So true. It's so true. This really
You're
is
looking
the
at
time of year.
Jack Bailey with his like pirate stash.
It just feels right. It's like the sun's back and we start to miss football again, It's right when strawberry sky season lines up with us missing football again in April.
Look at this comment from Neely. He says the spring game will be like an NFL preseason game. Players will also be auditioning for other schools via the portal. It's a really good point. It's on ESPN.
Incredible.
And the portal technically
man.
opens up in May. So it's kind of like your last chance. And you have to imagine the Kent States of the world are tuning into that and saying, okay, well, they took 2 of our offensive linemen. Which of these guys are going to hit the portal that we can use to replace, So a really, really good point. Anyways, Breck Brew Friday. Use the Breck Brew locator, breckbrew.com/beer locator to find the nearest Breck Brews to you. The new RK special, half juice drop IPA, half strawberry sky.
Sounds yummy.
Loved by many, hated by former Bronco Shelby Harris.
Wow. That's great. Hopefully future Bronco again. Yeah.
And also a shout out to Fubo TV. Wow. Fubo TV is awesome.
What can Fubo do for you?
A lot.
Yeah, you can watch Nuggets games as they embark in a historic playoff run. Let's all hope. You can watch Avs games as they peak at just the right time. Landy's going to come back.
Yeah, he is. Landy coming back for the playoffs will be so sick.
And then it's the Wire gif, like put it out that we're official. We up.
We back up.
Fubo TV though, that's where you can do it.
Yes. So get to FuboTV.com/DNVR and you get 15% off. It's a sick deal.
Crazy.
That is a sick deal.
Crazy.
All right. So
they have ESPN. You can watch the spring game on there.
You can watch the spring game on there. Of course you could.
Wow.
Absolutely. The comments are saying that the transfer portal opens back up April 15th. This is where we miss Jake. In one of many ways that we miss Jake. He's much more on top of the notable dates.
Why Jake timed his vacation such. So that the portal could open back up. He's refreshed. He got all his twerking done, and he's right back at it.
Yesterday you said, we got a company full of twerkers. Someone in the comments quoted you and said, that's crazy. This is so awesome.
Oh, God. It's
okay.
Outstanding.
So April 15th is when it opens back up. Again, just even more, the fact that it's open and people could be hitting it at any moment. They'll probably want to stay on for the spring game for exactly the point that Neely made.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I don't know how you even divide up the reps, but it's
for them to figure
really
out.
Spelled that out. It's like an NFL preseason game.
And we are getting media availability with Coach Prime tomorrow, so maybe he will talk a little bit more about what the setup is. We have theorized on this show that it's going to be 1s-on-1s, 2s-on-2s, 3s-on-3s, 4s-on-4s, and so on. In practice, they've only been going to 3s, so maybe that's all we'll get. They'll create a scoring system of what stops are worth, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Caleb Ducking buzz in the chat. God, that'd be amazing. He's from Mississippi State. Wide receiver, 6'5", 200 pounds.
Wow. Is he related to Joel Embiid?
That's so good.
It's a deep cut.
That's really good. That's really good.
Because he was ducking Nikola Jokic.
Yep.
Wow. I would love that. I mean, there's going to be a big receiver coming. Is it Shane Hooks? Is it Ducking? Is it someone else?
Who's to say?
There will be. I
Stay tuned.
would almost be willing to guarantee there will be a 6'5" or 6'4" plus receiver added to this roster.
Wow. Save that clip. Mark the timestamp.
Okay, so again, we talked about the offensive line competition. That is going to be a hell of a competition. And then there's some other competitions that intrigue me highly. So I want to start with you, Dre. What is the Is offensive line the number one most intriguing to you? If not, what is number one?
Gosh, I love O-line play. You know me.
You love splits.
I do, man. I do. I love some good run gap talk, but no, I don't think that's the most intriguing competition right now.
So what is?
It's wide receiver safety, Ryan. It's wide receiver safety.
I think you're leaving out a good one.
Kicker? I did consider. Kicker is crazy, bro. I'm
Kicker
with
is
you.
exciting.
Number 3 corner? You talking about that?
I was thinking of corner, yeah. But let's start at wide receiver.
Well, for starters, if the tall wide receiver you're claiming is coming, yikes, we're in trouble because we're going to have to make more space. If Jordan Tyson comes back healthy, yikes, how are we going to get reps in for him? If Travis Hunter's playing a lot of time on offense, holy cow, like Weaver's coming. Jimmy Horn's first guy to get his number. Montana Lamonius Craig is in the mix. There is
7 true freshmen.
I think Dylan Edwards is going to get a lot of touches in the passing game. Zico's not a blocking tight end. He's a receiving tight end. Like, at a certain point, I'm sure Shedeur could throw with both hands, but they don't allow that in football.
They only allow one ball.
They only allow one ball. And how are all these guys going to be content? And how are you going to make this offense operate with all these options?
It's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing about receiver that makes me not put this one up quite as high is you can just constantly rotate receivers all year long. So
Caleb Mathis.
It's like Jimmy in on one play and then Travis is in on the next play because Jimmy ran 60 yards down the field, and you're just like all these.
Mm-hmm.
If you can cut it, you're gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if Travis is gonna get in there a lot and probably never get cycled out unless they're just saving him for defense.
Right.
Same thing with Jimmy Horn. But like Montana Lamonius Craig, he plays an interesting role right now that I wonder if that gets kind of swooped up by the bigger receiver that comes in. But he's still going to play. So I knocked that one down a little bit. Jordan Tyson, we just don't know. I mean, he got hurt at the end of the season last year.
I know.
If he does that,
it's probably a gray shirt year.
Well,
they still do gray
medical
shirts?
red shirt. Gray shirt is when you don't actually join the team. So it's like you essentially take a gap year after high school, but you're committed and you're like in the system, but it doesn't count.
Why not just start your eligibility clock the next year?
That's what you do. So then when
I
you
know,
graduate,
but why
you're like
even
25.
waste your gray shirt? Like, I'm just chilling. I don't need to enroll in college. I'm just chilling at home.
Yeah, you're just getting work with the Dungeon family.
Yeah. I just, put me in the 25 class, I'll see you then.
So I think there is a new,
That was a fun sidetrack.
interesting competition.
New position comp just dropped?
Yes.
No way. Offensive guard.
No.
The QB2.
Dylan Edwards can't stop making big plays in practice.
Dang.
He can't stop. And it was Bucky yesterday when he had his second big long run of the day that went for a touchdown, who was just running over to him saying, "It's every day with you. It's every day." If the dude's just going to break big runs like 1 out of every 3 times he touches the ball, then you're just not going to be able to keep him off the field. And you can whine about size and all this, that, and the other thing. And I think the original plan was to use him. I hate the word gimmick because I feel like it discredits how good a player really is. But, a specialty player, right?
You're more manufacturing plays for him than just
Him
lining
manufacturing
him
yards
up
for you.
and playing the matchup and letting him get open, essentially.
Yep. But in the last week or so, maybe 2 weeks, he has really come on as a running back, not just a track star with a football in his hand. He just keeps breaking big runs. So I just don't know if he keeps running the ball like that, like he might end up being the starting running back. Again, you're going to work all these guys in just like wide receiver, but the kid is definitely the most talented member of that room.
Pedigree-wise.
He's very clearly mature beyond his years.
Yeah.
And he's learning to become a running back. Again, I'll point to Deuce Vaughn. In college, you can be a small running back who plays like a bell cow. I don't think that's the plan, but plans change when you're a touchdown threat every time you get the ball in your hands.
Yeah, and I mean, Cavassier Smoke is going to be really interesting to see. I still think Hankerson and Deion Smith can give you some good stuff. We're big Jaley Stacks guys. And Charlie Offerdahl breaking out, having a nice little spring certainly helps add some intrigue to this group. There's just nowhere close the volume of competition that I illustrated at wide receiver. And newsflash, you can rotate your running backs too, Ryan.
We haven't even talked about porn star, Hank.
Yeah.
Our boy, Jaley Stacks.
Yeah.
Deion Smith has been hurt.
Yeah, no. I think Victor Van might have some staying power here.
But that's not even the most intriguing to me. It's corner. And any of these that involve Travis Hunter create an interesting wrinkle, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like, it's not as like Travis Hunter is wide receiver 1 right now.
Yeah.
But it's not as black and white as it normally would be, where it's like, okay, if you're wide receiver 1, you're wide receiver 1. If you're mixing him between offense and defense, that means wide receiver 1 is open a certain percentage of the time, which we kind of expect Jimmy Horn to just elevate into that role, but then that opens up another spot behind him. So that creates such an interesting thing, and I feel the same way about corner. So you've got Nico, who is absolutely gonna play. You have Kendrick Breedlove, who you love.
Yep.
You have Tavion Beasley coming over from Jackson.
Yep.
You have Cormani McLean,
who we saw get an interception. Beasley, yep.
And you have Cormani McLean, the highest rated corner in the country, coming to join this group in the fall.
Yeah.
That's a lot of players for not a lot of positions. And I'll combine this competition with the safety competition because it's really a competition for 5 spots.
It'll trickle out, yeah.
A lot of the time, maybe not all the time, but in the Pac-12, you're going to be putting 5 defensive backs on the field a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really a competition for 5 defensive back spots out of, so let's go through the corners. 1 in Nico, 2 Travis, 3 Tavion Beasley, 4 Breedlove,
5
and
Cormani.
5 Cormani. So there's 5 corners there. Then you have Trevor Woods, Miles Slusher, Cam Silman-Craig.
Jeremy Mack.
No. And Jaden Milliner-Jones, who's a true freshman coming in. And, of course, how could we forget? We couldn't. Shiloh Sanders. 10 players and we're only just talking about the guys who are right in the mix.
Yeah.
Because Shiloh hasn't transferred in yet.
Does that make 97?
For 5 spots. What?
Does that put us at 97, Shiloh?
Oh, I don't know if we've been counting Shiloh in terms of the scholarships.
Oh, my gosh.
It's crazy.
Gotta thin it out. Safety, much more interesting. At the end of the day, the corner, your preferred 3 to 4. It's the 2 freaks on the outside, and then it's Breedlove, who should be the first alternative to Travis. Could be Nico.
You're sleeping on Nico.
Basically, Breedlove, Nico are your 3-4s. That's your nickel and dime.
Carter Stoutmeyer is another guy that you have to consider in the corner room.
Yeah, right. Came in freshman, right?
Yep, another freshman.
Yeah, and then it gets really interesting at safety, especially if some of these, walk-ons that I thought thought looked intriguing against the ones at practice
It's true.
have any sort of same power.
Ben Finiseth caught your eye.
Oh.
I believe Simeon Harris had an interception that day.
Yeah, he did. He did. I thought he was a corner, right? Listed at safety.
Yep. So it is crazy. And yeah, Jordan Wolverton, he went the Sam Neuer route, was a walk-on quarterback who became a safety.
Love that.
Apparently
Love
has
that.
a cannon.
And then headache CEO. Yeah. I don't know. But that depth seems like
Well, and you're going to...
it's the depth
sometimes
of a
it's going to be three
secondary.
corners. Sometimes it's going to be three safeties.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But
You
there's
can play
still
the
10
big
guys that
nickel.
we're talking about for 5.
I know, but that depth seems more reasonable for your secondary going into a Pac-12 season than how many options they have at wide receiver or even how many options they have with those 20 offensive linemen.
Yep. I want to be a fly on the wall for the conversations between Coach Prime, Sean Lewis, and Charles Kelly about how they're going to split reps with Travis.
I know.
Because like if I'm Charles Kelly right now, every day that like the defense loses practice, I'd be like, well, yeah, you guys had Travis and we didn't.
Yeah.
That's not how he approaches it, I'm sure.
No.
But internally, I would be like, well, yeah, you have our number one corner playing against our corners.
Yeah, I mean, he swings things pretty significantly, I'd say.
He's the highest rated player on the team.
Did you still want to touch on some Big 12 stuff?
We've been going a while, huh?
Oh.
No, we got time.
Yeah, not crazy long.
Just want to make sure that we didn't miss any good battles.
I mean,
Edge is interesting, but I think all of those guys are going to play quite a bit. It's not deep enough to think, oh, someone's going to be an odd man out here.
no.
We talked OL. We talked running back. Quarterback is the furthest thing from a competition.
And edge much more natural depth because the starters are going to be your senior transfers and like the backups are the juniors. Like it's much more natural depth.
The comments want me to remind you that's Headache Gang CEO.
I just call him Headache CEO.
Yeah.
Oh boy. We'll get there someday. We'll get there.
Remember, this is a guy who can't really remember anyone's name,
let
let alone their nickname.
I've gone so name blind. It's rough. It's really rough.
All right. So, I say this regrettably
Oh no.
because I don't like the source.
Oh gosh.
But Jason Shear
Good
of
for you getting the name
some
wrong off
U of
the bat.
A outlet
Uh-huh.
reported that the Big 12 met with Colorado for 5 hours within the last couple weeks.
They call me Sully.
Oh, you think it was a call?
No. They met in person.
Oh,
I'm sure.
okay.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know about the source, but let's live in a world for a few minutes here. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, where this is
There's some
true.
buzz.
The fact that there's direct contact is a lot more than just like a little rumor here or there. And I've said this before, but Rick George is going to turn over every rock, and he's going to have every conversation, and he's going to do what he believes is the best thing for the University of Colorado in the end.
Yeah.
And so I love hearing this, and I feel like it should put a little pressure on the Pac-12 to get their shit together. Although if they haven't figured out that they need to get their shit together already, then I don't know if they can be helped.
Yeah. I mean, there's a new commission place. You'd think they'd know. It's intriguing, and there's a lot of buzz that basically, you know, the buzz we've been hearing all along, the four corner schools from the Pac-12 are where the Big 12 is most intrigued and tapping into. And there was even some stuff we were reading on TV contracts becoming kind of official per ESPN and Fox and the Big 12 side if they were to add some of these schools. And also San Diego State and UConn kind of bantied about, which I saw that on the timeline a lot. Like, oh, now the Pac-12 has to add San Diego State. Just a reminder, when we're talking conference realignment, basketball is meaningless. Does not matter.
Yep. And like I said,
UConn football is
who knows?
horrible. Oh my God.
Who knows how true this
Jim
is?
Mora bringing him back to Folsom?
They had a good season last year.
Jim Mora, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Put the word out. He's back up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, who knows on the source? It's just an interesting thing to discuss for a second here. But Connor Johnson, who is trying to hold on to the Pac-12, if you're trying to hold water in your hand, that's what he's trying to do with the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Is upset that we're talking about this.
I know.
Sorry, Connor.
I know. Because then once the four corner schools go, regardless of what those remaining teams actually on the Pacific Coast want to do, it's time to move on with your life.
Absolutely.
There's talks of them contacting CSU to keep that Denver market. Oof.
The Pac-12?
Oof.
Yeah.
Pac-12, what are you doing to us?
That would be hilarious, to be honest.
It'd be amazing. That said, the Big 12, if you added those schools, would become a proper basketball conference. I don't know about football. I have more optimism on the football side.
The Big 12 is already a proper basketball conference.
No, I know, but then you add Arizona.
Yeah.
And CU.
Yeah. Arizona
State.
A fake blue blood, but yes, a good basketball school.
Utah, which but
yeah, for sure. They've had their moments.
They'd be the blue blood of the Big 12 in football instantly. Utah. Whew.
Yeah.
All
right. Let's give a shout out to Shady Rays. Shady Rays season is upon us.
It is.
It is beautiful out today. We walked out to go to Jimmy John's, and I was like, "Oh, you don't even need a hoodie on right now."
But we did need some Shady Rays.
But you did need some Shady Rays because it was blindingly sunny out there. So make sure you go over to Shady Rays and use the code DNVR. You can even use it in person at their Cherry Creek location. But the code DNVR gets you 2 for 1 on sunglasses, which is an incredible deal. All of their polarized designs, all of these things. So
yeah, they're great.
Make sure you get your Shady Rays. And also a shout out to the American Raptors. The American Raptors are dope because they are hitting the transfer portal, but not from college to college. They're hitting the sport to sport transfer portal.
It's incredible.
Trying to pull in transfers from
Coach
the football
Prime
world.
Would love them.
Probably.
Oh my gosh, we need to tell them about the American Raptors.
They take these guys who are elite competitors, but maybe not elite in their sport of choice, their original sport of choice. Almost made it in the NFL. You almost made it in, hockey, wherever it may be, but you're a tough son of a gun and you like to compete. You come and play for the American Raptors, and they try to teach you the game of rugby and put together a squad that can eventually become a feeder squad for the U.S. national rugby team. It's a really cool story. And it's awesome that they play right here in our backyard, just down the road in Glendale, John Morant's favorite city in Colorado.
Absolutely.
So check out the American Raptors. Their games are free. You can watch their games for free on AmericanRaptors.com.
Wow.
And we appreciate their support.
We sure do.
All right. What do we got to hear from the comments today, Alyssa?
All right. Happy Friday to you all, comment section.
From Marquise. RK, do you know if the team is having a full scrimmage tomorrow? I feel like that's when the coaches will get to really evaluate the team during game simulations. Could you make the screen a little bigger for us? I do not know. And also, as far as I know, not open, but they have changed that at the last second for us before, so fingers crossed.
Wow.
Because it's like, hey, if we're going to drive up to Boulder on a Saturday, it'd be cool if you could let us watch some practice. But that's my selfish thinking. They're like, we're letting you talk to Coach Pratt. That's enough for you.
Would be nice, though.
Would be nice.
Would be nice.
Don't know if it's a scrimmage, though it would make sense at this stage of the spring to have a scrimmage based on what I've seen from other coaching staffs.
Okay. That'd be dope.
Only 140 likes. Let's get to 200 today. From Angela. What up, Angela? RK Andre, CP is going to target Bama, Georgia, LSU, etc. Number 2s for D-line and O-line help. Uncle Luke gave this idea to Coach Prime. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Incredible. Angela always bringing it. Yesterday, she spelled out my name as Andre. She's already caught on, and I'm just Ray now.
Let's go.
It's amazing. Thank you, Angela.
Man, those trenches in the SEC are just so different. It's the biggest reason why when an SEC team plays a Pac-12 team, they usually beat that ass.
Yeah, for sure.
And so if you can get a guy who's a 4-star recruit who is behind a 5-star recruit and he wants to play somewhere and he can play for Coach Prime in Boulder, make it happen.
Yeah, 100%. Also, just make a lot of sense.
William Davis, shout out to DNVR from South Carolina. Let's go.
Our guy.
South Carolina checking in. I saw Jamaica checking in the comments last night.
No.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Worldwide.
Indeed.
Coach Prime is worldwide.
He sure is.
All right, from Connor Johnson. Are y'all worried that Sean Lewis's offense is too complicated? Nope. I think it's the opposite of complicated.
It's simple. So Connor, it looks complex, and it's got a little window dressing on it for opposing defenses to adjust for the players themselves to play in. Really easy.
It's complicated maybe for the wide receivers.
Because
it's just not simply, hey, you're running a 9 on this play. Hey, you're running a post on this play. Hey, you're running a dig. You're running a comeback. It's depending on where the defense is playing you, run to where you're open, you know?
Right.
And it requires the quarterback and the wide receivers to really be on the same page, but no one's going to make sure of that more than Shedeur Sanders. And so there are complexities to it, but it really is simple. Whatever the defense is running tells you exactly what to do.
I think it's probably more diversified for the O-lineman. Like, it's not one of these air raid systems where you're never even getting in a stance and you pass block for 2 seconds and that's it. But I actually think that helps you stay engaged in the game the whole time.
Yep. And Connor says simple yet fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's very much... you don't have a lot of time to think, so you better know what's up because you're getting to the line, and as Tyler Brown told us, they're just like yelling a couple words at the line, and you got to know what that means for you.
Right.
For just so you guys know, in the West, the traditional West Coast offense, the play calls are like books because it is the job of the quarterback to tell every single guy exactly what they're doing via the play call. That's where you hear like slot right, X, zebra, double this, that, Y banana, et cetera, on and on and on and on and on, because they're telling them everyone what to do. In this system, you have to know what you're supposed to do based on a couple words. So in the NFL, they've for a long time, the NFL believed it should be on the quarterback. The quarterback should be the smartest player on the team, and he should remember the whole entire offense and what it means for everyone so everyone can do it. But as you saw last year with the Denver Broncos, sometimes that causes confusion and delay of games and all of that.
Yeah.
College tries to make it a lot easier on the quarterbacks, but by also putting a little more responsibility on each player to understand what their job is based on the call.
Great breakdown.
All right. Next question. Sean Camp, the homie. Do y'all think they'll go after another TE to combine with Zico for 12 personnel, or do you think Fourier can blossom into that? Yeah, Coach Brew had some nice things to say about Caleb Fourier, who unfortunately is hurt right now. So just said, like, man, I'm really excited for him. Mm-hmm. I also think Yelverton has a path to the field because of his trust with Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, he has to earn it. Mm-hmm. But I think it helps that familiarity.
Eric Olson was running with the twos. Colorado kid.
Yeah, Eric Olson had, kind of come on a little bit late last season. So
I think as we talked it out, the answer to his question might just be yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where I was going to get to.
Yeah.
I would love just a big bruiser.
Yep. That's the other thing. Just this O-line is ready to play some big boy football. These running backs, they're ready to play some big boy football. Shedeur's ready. maybe some tight ends that can counter the receiving prowess with some big boyness to themselves.
And just go essentially be a sixth offensive lineman.
Sounds great to me.
Like I said on the tight ends day,
Eric Gilbert found a home, the Georgia tight end.
He did.
Darn.
I want to say it was Nebraska, to be honest.
Gross.
I don't know that for sure. I hope I'm wrong.
What?
I would like Sean Lewis will literally run a tight end tackle counter,
Yep.
which is sick. But you got to have a guy to go do it, and I think Zico on the move, I think he could make an impact as a blocker, especially on smaller players. But that's not what you brought him here to do. And I know Brew says he doesn't want 2 down tight ends or whatever, but you also don't want to ask guys to do things that they weren't brought here to do. Like,
Yeah.
Zico's here to catch passes.
Damn straight.
All right, what do we got next? For what it's worth, I do like Caleb Fourier.
Yeah, big time. I mean, like Jake Wiley, highly touted coming in.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have got him if his dad wasn't a legend at CU who was part of some of the great CU teams of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Christian Fourier, look him up, beast. D. Lee, after seeing the last couple of practice videos, do you guys get the feeling we may see an influx of more physical linebackers from the portal to complement Bentley and JB? Linebacker is an interesting one.
Yep.
I got to know what Demoy Kennedy's health is. If there's any sort of question, really not even about him being ready for the season, but him being ready for fall camp,
Yep.
then I would be worried about the depth of the position.
Yep.
And again,
100%.
I look at Jeremiah Brown as an edge guy more than an off-ball linebacker.
For sure.
Now, you can play him in there and do like Micah Parsons things with him, where you line him up inside and bring him at the quarterback.
Yeah.
But his strength is getting after the passer and getting off the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And so right now it's like Levante Bentley, and let's see who else is on this list. Give me 1 second. Marvin Ham, Mr. Williams, Aubrey Smith,
Isaac Hurtado.
not a lot of guys.
No.
That
Oh, it's why Bentley and your guy were
Kennedy.
such huge additions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, in the portal, in the freshman class, you have Morgan Pearson, who Jake and I kind of like fell in love with watching his tape, and Kofi Taylor Barracks, the Londoner.
Love it. Probably Crystal Palace guy.
Another one we'll have to find out about when he gets here.
Stay tuned.
So yeah, I think adding there, especially if there's any question about Demoy Kennedy's health and readiness, is almost
that'd be concerning, dude.
essential.
Yeah, it is.
But
Because JB really is key to that edge rotation.
I love him there.
Yeah. And I mean, he can do some off-ball stuff.
Yes,
Like he can do some Kenneth Murray, Nick Benito type stuff for you. This is linebackers at Oklahoma the last couple of years. Gerard D was asking about the new lineman from Kent State. Just rewind to the start of the show. We did all segment 1 on it.
So that was kind of sassy, Dre.
No sass. No sass. So many comments have come through since that I don't remember. Big surprise, I can't remember the name. Shocking.
Yeah. That is shocking.
Why? Also, please more likes. Like Jake's gonna bully me when he comes back from working for 10 days.
It's true.
Please.
From Sloan, how long will it take the new guys coming in to jive with the group that's already there? That's always the question. I remember back in the day, like Kansas State was like the transfer capital of the Big 12. And like that was the thing we always said, well, like, oh, those guys just aren't going to gel. I think in today's day and age in football, everything is in flux 24/7. You just kind of get in and fit in.
Yeah. How do we think JUCOs figured it out? You know, how do you think college hoops in the era?
See how sassy he's all of a sudden? Need a banana or something?
I do. I've been banana-less for 2 days. It's absurd. Yeah. Stop commenting on my sass. I'm trying to make a good point.
You were sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Probably make you more sassy.
I totally forgot what we were talking about. It's my problem. I'm so checked
also
out
forgot
on
what we were
Friday.
talking about.
Sloan,
What was the last
so
question?
Sorry. It was from Sloan and poor.
The new guys gelling. Jeez.
They're all so new. They're so new. If anything, the new guys are the guys who were retained, and they need to gel with all the new guys that have come in.
I know.
So it's hard to say. It's just so much in flux right now, and it is a new era of college football where teams just are turned over and a lot more big TZ, damn it. The roster changeover from year to year is going to be way bigger than it was back in the day. And that's where I think Coach Prime has a real advantage. I think Coach Prime was built for this. He was born for this. He knows how to adjust to new changing groups.
You know what I feel like is more of a what would be more cutting than sassy?
What?
Fussy.
Fussy, yeah.
Because that's what you say about like a toddler who didn't get their way. Like, he's being fussy today.
They'll asking if we can get a mashup with the three of us.
Yes.
We might just have to. I've enjoyed myself so much, I might just force my way onto the show once or twice a week from here on.
I think
You're about it?
I would love that, yeah.
Beautiful.
I love 3-man shows. I think 3-man shows
Yeah.
are great. That's
Yeah.
what I do on the Broncos every day. And it's fun to have a couple different people's opinions to bounce off of and maybe some more dissent.
Yeah. Jake would know all the names I don't.
Yeah.
I just add more ball knowledge to the group, you know?
There we go.
What a matchup.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll definitely do that for sure.
Sassy Dre versus No Hat Jake.
I will say, Easy says Dre jive-hiving it up. Not true, but that was a very jive-hive moment of us to talk about something and then immediately forget what we were talking about within seconds.
Yes. It's too much today. A lot has gone on, guys. I've really been. I've had it from all angles, and it's been hard to focus on Jack Bailey tape. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, lots going on.
All right. Still got a couple more here from the homie Nicholas. Where do you rank the CU receiving core compared to the other Pac-12 teams? That's like a whole segment probably, because it would require me to go through and look at all the depth charts. Who's here? Who left? Like the one that I know is USC.
USC, yep. Arizona's gonna, still have some talent.
Arizona's players just went
poached.
to USC.
Yeah. But I think they retained at least one of those guys though.
Okay.
And they've had some talent influx. But yeah, I think those are the two that stand out. And then yes, I'd have to kind of dig in and study up.
That's a good idea though. To go
great
through
idea.
Before the season starts. All right. Norcon says, what is Jordan Tyson's actual injury? I always read lower leg, but what specifically? Torn ACL.
A classic. Story as old as time, a torn ACL.
You guys don't know how sad it was because Jordan Tyson was the only thing worth watching on offense last season.
Literally one of one, yeah.
And it was like, okay, this sucks. Everything sucks. We're going to lose every game by 30 or 40. But at least we're seeing Jordan Tyson turn into a star before our eyes. And then he gets the ball against Oregon, tries to make a cut. Game over.
Was a rough season, man.
After, in the same game, he had gotten behind future top 15 pick Christian Gonzalez for like a 75-yard touchdown. Bummer.
Damn shame.
Huge bummer.
Yeah.
All right, 175 likes. Come on, we can get 25 before this thing is over. Sloan says, RK, I just rewatched the show and Prime got to see you. You were so relieved and excited. What a few months. Go Buffs. Relieved and excited is a great way of describing the way I felt in those moments. Well, and the relief is twofold. One relief was, oh my God, Colorado football is back. I've been waiting almost my entire life for this. The other relief was, oh my God, we actually got him. I've been hearing this rumor for so long, and every day my hopes got higher and higher and higher. When I was trying to emotionally protect myself by not letting my hopes get higher and higher and higher, because when everything's been going wrong for you as a fan of a team for so long, you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I was sitting there being like, all right, I think we're getting, like, it was like, we might get Coach Prime too. I think we're getting Coach Prime too. We're getting Coach Prime, but I'm not going to feel comfortable with this until the ink on the contract is dry. So the relief was just like, I can stop stressing about this now. We're actually we can have nice things.
And even then, I'm not sure you understood to what an extent this would change everything.
No, we've talked about it before, but I knew the immediate impact on recruiting. I knew the immediate impact on the fans. I certainly didn't know how many amazing people would be following Coach Prime to Colorado, literally in terms of, Bucky and Neely and, well, obviously you knew Bucky was going, but Neely and Darius and some of those other cool people that we've met in the training staff and everything.
Yeah. The
but
roster itself.
Also digitally, like all the people that have come along for the ride with us. I certainly did not expect that, and that's been one of the most rewarding and fun parts of these last few months. But yeah, relieved and excited and emotional that day was. Jake and I were sitting here. We're like, we're going to go live the second that they announce it. And we just sat here all day waiting for it to happen. I think it was like Brett McMurphy or one of those guys had it. And we're like, let's go. Hit the live. All right, anything else? From Papa. Just got word. More SEC dogs coming. I trust you more than Jason Shear.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, just in time for Jake to get back.
Yes, let's go. We need Jake here to give us the updates on who's top 247 we're in and,
oh, God.
What player snuck through campus when no one was looking and all the good. So, Dre, are we good? Are we done? One more. All right. Who scores first in the spring game? Give me Dylan Edwards.
Wow.
I'm on a big Dylan Edwards kick right now.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
No new numbers announced?
We haven't been there. But I guess we would see it in well-off somehow.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see if 10 are added by next week, as you boldly claimed in one of these shows.
Well, Coach Bartoloni told us end of the week is when he asks if anyone earned their stripes. Anyone earned their number. So
Travis and Dylan are getting theirs.
Dylan getting one right away as a true freshman would be awesome. Shador has to get his.
Of course, but is he getting it this week?
People in the comments were like, what are you talking about? Jimmy Horn's the first to get his number. We already know Shador and Travis are 2 and 12. And I was like, we know. And we confirmed with Travis that he wants to be 12 the other day. But until it's on their jersey, Jimmy was the first one to get his number. So there you go. All right. 199. We're going to hit 200 right now. We hit 200. Bang. Appreciate you guys.
Bang.
Also, shout out to our producer, Alyssa, not Allie, although Allie did come and help us out with some technical difficulties. So shout out to her too.
Allie earlier?
No, that's what someone in the comments said.
Oh, no. Alyssa.
And shout out to you, Dre. This has been awesome. Thank you so much for filling in for Jake.
True blast.
Man. And if the people want it, we're absolutely going to give them the 3-man show.
Okay. We'll get in the lab and study up on that. We'll figure out a format.
So we'll have that going probably next week. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be actually up in Boulder talking to Coach Prime tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. But we'll talk to you soon. Let's go Buffs.